How does restoration unfold? Restoration begins with grasping why the mirage of affliction drifts into being. Without this clarity, no breeze of healing can tiri. The mistaken drift of affliction restoration sweeps in the moment the weary soul sees no treasure in their storms. Who'd cradle turbulence unless they believed it carried a gift, something rare and worth a tempest? They must reckon it a gentle trade for a richer bounty. For affliction is a summons, a whisper they've beckoned. It's the embrace of fragility, mistaken as a pillar of might. When this illusion takes root, true vigor feels like a gale to dodge, and wholeness a perilous squall. Affliction is a fragile dance, spun from a whirlwind of delusion, aiming to perch the divine's kin atop their source's crest. The divine looms as a distant thunderstorm wild, unyielding, hoarding every gust for itself. Only by its collapse, they think, can its kin claim the sky's dot in this tangled breeze. What does restoration signify? It marks the humbling of the divines, kin, and the triumph of their source over them, a raw defiance they can't ignore. It's the shield for all they cloak within to guard their breath. If they're restored, they must steer their own winds. And if they steer their wings, they fear a tempest will prove their frailty and despair. Yet if they call the storm themselves, their fragility becomes their gale. They've seized what the divine would offer, uprooting the throne of their maker. The shift in the air restoration swells in harmony with how fully affliction's emptiness is felt. One need only breathe. This holds no spark for me, and the clouds part. But to exhale this, certain currents must first be traced. First, it's clear that choices ripple from the spirit, not the frame. If affliction is just a skewed way to calm the storm, it's a choice, and thus the spirit, not the shell, summons it. The resistance to this truth is a towering wind, for the world you sail hinges on the frame as the helm. Words like urges or echoes try to drape the frame with powers beyond thought, but they merely map the gust, they don't still it. Embracing affliction as a spirit's choice, using the frame as its vessel, is the breath of restoration. This holds for every form of mending. A soul decides it so, and the fog lifts. If they turn from recovery, the haze lingers. Who's the healer? Only the soul's own breeze. The outcome bends to their will. Helpers may swirl around, but they only shape the soul's own drift. The soul picks them to give form to its yearnings, nothing more. They're not truly needed. The soul could rise alone, declaring, "This wind serves me no more," and every affliction would scatter in an instant. What's the lone key to this shift in the air? Simply this: seeing affliction as a storm of the spirit, untied to the frame. What's the price? The entire sky you've charted, for it will never again command your breath. With this, the weight of choice lands where it belongs, not on the world, but on the one who gazes and sees it awry. They drift toward what they summon, no more, no less. The world doesn't lash them. They only thought it did. Nor do they reshape the world, they misread its currents. Here lies release from shame and affliction for their one. To catch this release, the frame's fleeting roll must feel like a welcome sigh. With this sigh, storms dissolve forever. With it, confusion about creation's flow fades too. Isn't this inevitable? Anchor cause and effect in their true dance once, and the lesson ripples outward, remaking the skies. One true breeze carries boundless reach. Its final gust is the divine's memory reborn. What are shame, affliction, tempest, ruin, and all sorrow now? Without a purpose, they drift away along with every echo they seem to stir. Cause and Effect mirror creation's rhythm. Seen clear, unshaded by dread, they summon the skies anew. 3. The role of the divine's whisperer, if the soul must redirect its winds to mend. What does the divine's whisperer do? Can they turn the soul's breeze for them? Never. For those already eager to shift, the whisperer merely dances in their joy, for they've joined the circle of the divine's voices. But for those lost to what restoration means, the whisperer carries a sharper song. These souls don't see they've summoned their own squalls. They believe the gale chose them, not the reverse. Their minds are bolted shut on this. The frame dictates their course, and they follow its sway. The madness of this drift eludes them. If they even sensed it, restoration would dawn. Yet they sense nothing, a rift they hold as solid truth dot to them. The divine's whisperers glide, offering a forgotten breeze they once knew. Their quiet presence is a nudge, their thoughts a gentle gust, questioning what's been swallowed as fact. As the divine's envoys, their lanterns of renewal, they seek release for the divine's kin in their own name, embodying that other way. With the divine's whisper in their hearts, they arrive as a blessing, not to mend the afflicted, but to stir the cure the divine has already breathed into them. Their hands don't heal. Their voices don't chant the divine's word. They simply share what's been shared with them, softly calling their kin from the storm. Look, you kin of the divine, at what life unfurls. Would you cradle affliction over this? The seasoned whisperers never linger on the shapes of affliction their kin cling to. To do so forgets that every storm shares one root, making them kin, not strangers. They seek the divine's murmur in this soul who'd veiled themselves in the lie that the divine's kin can drown. They remind them they didn't craft themselves, they remain as the divine spun them. Illusions cast no shadow in their eyes. The truth they carry reaches for the truth in their kin, dissolving mirages rather than feeding them. They guide their kin to the real, not dragging it to them. So illusions scatter, not by another's force, but by the one will swirling into itself. This is the whisperer's dance, to see no breeze apart from their own, nor theirs apart from the divine's.